Everyone, welcome back to Flexify 2, your job search evolved, the show that keeps you ahead of the curve. I'm your host, Trina, and today we're diving into something that's completely reshaping how we think about education and careers, micro-credentials. With what we're seeing in the economy already in 2025, trust me, this couldn't be more relevant. Let's start with some real talk about where we are right now. According to recent economic data, we're seeing what experts call a soft landing in the job market. But here's the thing, it's not your traditional job market anymore. We're actually in what some are calling a deep white-collar recession, and that's changing everything about how we need to think about our careers. The real story begins here. According to the World Economic Forum, 61% of workers will need retraining between 2024 and 2027. That's not just a statistic, that's a wake-up call. But before we dive deeper, let's talk about what exactly micro-credentials are, because there's a lot of confusion out there. Think of them as short, focused certifications designed to validate specific skills or competencies. They're like the TikTok version of education, short, focused, and exactly what you need right now. Now let's talk about some thoughts that just won't let me rest. Money. Here's the game-changing part. Gen Z, dubbed the micro-credential generation, is actively seeking faster, more affordable pathways to economic mobility. And can you blame them? Think about this. Many reputable institutions are offering micro-credential programs at a fraction of the cost of a full degree. We're talking about getting job-ready skills without the crushing debt that comes with traditional education. Now let's look at what's happening on the ground. Companies with comprehensive training programs are seeing 218% higher income per employee. That's not just impressive, that's revolutionary. And it's not just small companies jumping on this trend. Tech giants like Meta, IBM, AWS, and Netflix are actively using micro-credentials to bridge their talent gaps. They're building entire hiring strategies around them. Here's something that might blow your mind. The global online degree and micro-credential market is expected to reach $117 billion by 2026. That's billion with a B. This isn't just a trend, it's transformation of how we think about education and career development. In the spirit of keeping it real, while major companies are announcing layoffs, something interesting is happening. 97% of education leaders say micro-credentials can strengthen long-term career outcomes. Now let's talk numbers. Because if you want to understand where an industry is headed, you follow the money. The global EdTech market is expected to reach a staggering $738.6 billion by 2029. That's not just growth, that's explosive. Here's some interesting information for investors and career planners alike. Major tech companies like IBM, Google, Salesforce, Microsoft, Amazon, and Walmart are heavily investing in the micro-credentials ecosystem, and demand continues to surge. Let's talk about some specific market movements. Coursera, one of the leading platforms in this space, is projected to see its stock rise by 30.95% from its current position. Wall Street is betting big on this transformation. But it's not just about stock prices. The U.S. higher education market, currently valued at $6 billion, is expected to reach $16.8 billion by 2033. That's a compound annual growth rate of 12.2% from 2025. Here's what's fascinating. EdTech expenditure is expected to double to $341 billion largely fueled by artificial intelligence. This isn't just a trend, it's a fundamental reshaping. Let's think about this. Companies with comprehensive training programs are seeing higher income per employee. That's not just a statistic, that's a clear market signal about where smart money is heading. So, how do you actually make this work for you? Here's your step-by-step guide. First, assessment. Look at where the layoffs are happening in your industry. Second, research. Identify the growth areas. They're often hiding in plain sight. 3, target. Focus on micro-credentials that bridge the gap between where you are and where the market is going. And last, action. Start small, but start now. Here's what makes this moment so unique. The labor market is becoming increasingly choosier, but also more productive. The old playbook of getting one degree and writing it out for 40 years, that's as outdated as a fax machine. But here's the catch, and it's important. Without strategic workforce development, these economic disruptions will only widen existing inequities. This isn't just about individual success, it's about creating a more equitable future for everyone. So here's my suggestion of what to do right after this podcast. First, look up the top 3 companies in your industry. Second, check their job postings for the skills they're desperately seeking. Third, find a micro-credential that matches those skills. Fourth, calculate the return on investment, time and money. And lastly, make a decision and commit to it. Remember this, the micro-credential movement isn't just changing education, it's reshaping how skills are recognized. You can either ride this wave or watch it as it passes you by. That's all for today's episode. If you are finding this valuable, make sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcast. I've got more career-changing insights coming your way. The future belongs to the adaptable. I'm Trina, and this has been Flexify 2, Your Job Search Evolved. Until next week's episode, be kind, keep it positive, and we can win if we don't quit.